everybody? It's Thomas. So let's talk about BBLoBB League of Blood Bowl. Yeah, what a week. We got done a little bit early this week, so we're gonna record the video a little bit early. I don't really know what the scheduling means anymore, because it's just sort of whenever we get it done now, which is great. It's been ahead of schedule for a while now, so that's awesome. As you may notice, or maybe you don't notice, but there's some changes here. Yeah, not a lot. Dr. Broken Mirror got some SPP. Amazing. A troll hitting things with injuries, managed to get SPP. Dr. Friday the 13th still at level 3, so no big change there. Or no, I'm wrong. Dr. Friday the 13th was level 2, and now he's level 3. I got guard, because if there's one thing that trolls need to be, it's really obnoxious, and guard helps them be that. It'll help with the fanatic as well. Other changes, I think the Looney had MVP a while ago, I think? No, Looney got MVP. I think you can watch the game. It'll be up here. I should mention that I played the Ogres this week, and we'll get into what happened in a little bit. That one had sides up before. Some changes here, though. This guy jump up, but 2 other people hit level 3. Big week in SPP gains here. Diving tackle, sidestep. Diving tackle, sidestep. A great combination that goes good together. I still have a rogue sidestep and a rogue diving tackle, but nevertheless, doing pretty good. This wrestle guide actually did really well. As always, it's easy to forget what players have what skills, and Chris definitely forgot that. I gained a fan factor finally. Hooray. It's too bad it doesn't really matter that much anymore, but hey, 8 is still good. I've got a truckload of money now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably nothing. I could get another reroll. Probably won't, though. Let's take a look at the match record chart. You can see I won 60,000, which means nothing. 5-0. I broke the individual one-game record for touchdowns scored for you, which is great. I also got 4 casualties and a kill out of the deal. Although, I'm never sure if these numbers are like overlapping or not. It's a little confusing. Either way, lots of hitting was done. 5 touchdowns is 15 SPP, plus the, let's say these are even, so 10 more, 25. 30 SPP is a lot. I think that's the most in a single game, which I'm pretty proud of. I only ate 4 casualties, although I got KO'd quite a bit, and I got tackled quite a bit. I got revenge on Chris for injuring me so much, and I did it in kind of a vicious, brutal way. Just how it happened. Yeah. So, this win is really good, though, because it ensures my path forward to the playoffs. It means I've pretty much locked up the 4th slot. We'll look at that a little bit further, but that's very exciting for me. I'm pretty pumped about that. The team's in a really good place right now. Obviously, things I need to look at for this week. I need to get this troll to level 2. That's pretty huge. I would like to get either of these guys to level 3, but I don't think it's likely. I really should focus on getting the Colonel some SPP, maybe Billy Goat too, but mostly just getting more players level 2 would probably be a good deal. Alternatively, again, could certainly focus on more. Getting more points on the Pogo would definitely help. I would really like to get some real skills. Hopefully I can roll doubles if I get a level up here. Bambino getting another skill would be good. So I'm not starved for targets for SPP moving into week 14 here, our final week. Let's take a look at how Chris fared in that exchange, aside from the pretty brutal. The game itself, not really recapping what happened in the game here. Game itself mostly went very well my way very early on. I managed to get the ball away from him. The bomb did absolutely stellar. I think I got a blitz in there, maybe. It's been a while. Again, game will be up here. You can look at it there. It was a fun game for me. Chris did not have a good time. Obviously, getting pummeled that hard is never fun. Ogres mostly didn't really take anybody out when they needed to, and when he needed them to behave, they did not behave. So some penalties are added up on this team here. Smashed ankle on his Sneaky Get Dirty player, Snotling. These 2 guys, which he's kind of saddled with. And no Ogre level ups. I mean, that's kind of the product of most of them being level 3 now, but none of these guys did. I did take out 2 of them, including Galactus. Screw you, jerk, for hurting me so bad the first time you were on the field. But yeah, not big change here. Oh, that's not true. Thomas Tears got MVP and got Diving Tackle, which is great. Diving Tackle is a great skill. I forgot about it on the, where is he? on this guy that has it, so that was kind of funny. 10k is really not enough to do a whole lot with. Didn't do too bad though. I mean, 9 SPP is not a lot, but you get what you get. Especially one of them goes to a Snotling. God, that's brutal. I don't know. He can't really afford to fire and rehire people. His team value is still really ridiculous. Who knows? He's got a lot of choices, certainly. -1 MA really is annoying, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, no other big changes here for this team. This team is not in playoffs, but can do certainly damage. We'll get into that into the preview, though. Again, biggest thing for this game against me versus Chris is I was just able to establish a strong early lead and then continue to use my higher mobility to get better blocks, to free up people and spread out and get the ball and then score. I was also much more fortunate than Chris. The dice definitely liked me a little bit more this week. What can you do? Pretty happy about that. That was a well-needed win for me. Let's take a look at the other side here. We had the Skaven versus the Underworld team, and this did not go well for Mark. Very close game. It was 1-1 for almost the entirety, and then some scattering ball, gutter runner, jibba-jab essentially got the ball in at the 11th hour to give the Skaven the 2-1 lead here. As you can see, KOs for days for Mark, but nothing to really impact the Skaven team that much. A brutal week, really. 8 total SPPs, not that great. Skaven team walks away with 3 casualties, 2 touchdowns, and 1 MVP, and along with a successful pass as well. So that's 12, 18 SPP. Not a bad week, 60k as well. Help restock the reserves. No injuries. Level ups, I don't think so. This gutter runner got closer to level 5, which will be awesome if I can make it to level 5, but probably unlikely before the season ends entirely. Yeah, no other real changes here. A bunch of players back. Moving to next week, team value is relatively high. I don't know if she's going to want to hire more linemen or not. Probably not. It wouldn't hurt to have more bodies, but she has 14 at this point, so you can afford to lose 3, which is a pretty good comfort zone for this team. Yeah, I got 7 everywhere, but doesn't matter too much. Yeah, so it's a pretty good week for the Skaven team. No level ups, like I said, but hey, what can you do? Is that true? I'm trying to remember if that's 100% true. I think it is, because that gutter runner was out. Yeah, this one's almost level 4 though. Actually, Dambo still needs. Dambo just needs 1 vanity pass, and he can do it. Same with this one. So actually, a bunch of these gutter runners are pretty scary. All things considered, the brand new gutter runner didn't do a whole lot, but that's okay. Ridiculous amount of fan factor here as well. And like I said, game was relatively close. First half was well dominated by Mark, but just not able to lock it up in the second half. We'll see. Interesting game, nonetheless. You can certainly watch it up here if I haven't mentioned that already. In terms of when Mark got just 10k, this was an insult to injury type of game. I don't think he got any level ups either, really. Nope. Those were all there before. Yeah, I think it might have gone to Goblin. I don't think he got any level ups, honestly, looking at this. Yeah, MVP probably went here or something crazy. Ugh, not a good game for Mark. But goes into the playoffs unscathed. Well, he's got it last week, so it goes into next week unscathed, so that's never a bad thing. He's been talking about getting rid of some team value here, which he's not really utilizing his 4 agility goblins in ways that would make that 4 agility good. He's not attempting to move the ball with them a lot. He's using his throwers primarily for that, which not too surprising. Block is really hard to argue with, especially when it comes with sure hands. So yeah, I don't know. Animosity makes throwing to them a little unreliable as well. I don't know. I wish that he was using them more. Like if this one had catch, that'd be cool. We'll see. He could certainly get rid of them and deflate his team value a little bit, get some more inducements. Certainly an option. We will see, though. He's sitting on a ton of money, so one way or the other, it doesn't matter too much what he decides to do. If he could just hire vanilla goblins and be okay as well. Let's take a look at this game. This one isn't recorded, but the other Goblin team managed to pull out a win here. Don't have a lot of details here. Looks like just a early aggressive drive, if I had to guess. 60 yards running. It looks like a handoff here. A passing. Oh, that's probably a thrown goblin. 1 casualty on each side. 2 casualties staying, so it looks like a failed dodge and interception, which is pretty awesome. The goblin team has 2 interceptions, which is all great. Yeah, not too bad, all things considered. Good bit of passing for Sid, though, so even though he doesn't win the game, got a lot out of it. 4, 6, 11, not too bad. 7, 10, 12. So better for the Goblin team. 80k as well, so that means we had some fame on the Goblin side as well. Any big changes here? I don't think so. Break tackle, nope. Pogor's only level 4. It means Pogor got some hits in, so that's kind of cool. Or maybe some passing. Who knows? Who got the... I think this is the one that got the interception. I guess we can take a quick look here. Interception. Tobig, number 10. Okay, so the shadowing one. So that's cool. Yeah, no real changes here, it looks like. I think this guy was level 3 already, so yeah. Not seeing any big changes for this team whatsoever. Yeah. Interesting. Let's take a look at the Sid side of the equation. No changes here either. No injuries either, so that's a pretty good thing. What are we looking at for money? Rolled 30, looking at 60. Honestly, I mean, you could definitely keep this -1 armor value line limit. It's not the best, but still is dodge, so it's not the end of the world. Blitzer is out of reach, I believe. Yeah, it's 90. It's really what he would need. But this is the last week for Sid, so he can kind of do whatever. It's not super significant, I suppose. Just level 11 players, so what can you do? All right, next game for the week here. The forced win here for Andrew. Got 60k out of it, which was more than enough to hire the replacement War Dancer. MVP and touchdown went to this thrower, so this thrower is 1 touchdown away, actually, or 3 passes, which is probably the more likely outcome of hitting level 3, which is pretty good. Actually, almost all of Andrew's players have a level up, so that's pretty cool. Got accurate here, which I think is good. It will help his thrower be a thrower. Leader here is the free reroll, so it puts him effectively a 4 per half, which is always good, but having accurate here will make this thrower just that more deadly with this catcher with a +1 movement allowance too. His scoring threat range is actually very large. War Dancers, of course, always a potential threat here. Looking at next week, getting this War Dancer to level 2, probably the biggest thing. You know, Frenzy, Strip Ball, tackle, any number of skills. Tackle probably the best one, but any number of skills will be valuable in this War Dancer. Should certainly do some vanity passing where you can, like this lineman could get to level 3 with 1 vanity pass, and they're elves, so it's not that big of a deal. No other ones really within super reach. I guess this War Dancer is in potential threat as well, so getting a touchdown here would get to level 4, so could definitely get Frenzy or something else on this War Dancer. Lots of options. At this point, Andrew kind of needs to maximize the potential, I feel like, for his pieces that he has. He has 11 now, so it's good. Try to avoid major injuries going into the playoffs, that sort of thing, because he's playing against Mark, so we shall see. If he does win more, filling out with more linemen wouldn't be a bad idea, but he could certainly just hover where he is. His team value is already ridiculous because Wood Elves are really, really expensive. But yeah, not too bad. And then that was that for this week. So pretty good week. I think I was right here on all accounts. No, I think I was wrong here. I think I said this was gonna be a tie. It wasn't. So that is that. If we take a look at rankings, like I said, we've got the playoffs pretty much locked now. With 1 game left, it's impossible for Pants Commander or Chris to beat my point of 17, even if I lose. So that is pretty good. So yeah, we're looking at this for the top 4. So we'll talk about playoffs next week when we summarize the game here. What this does mean is that the Skaven team is going to be undefeated for the regular season, which is kind of crazy. It's Skaven. We have 2 Goblin teams. I guess it was bound to happen eventually, but still pretty crazy. So let's take a look at the next week. Skaven actually has a huge advantage here going up against the Chaos team. The Chaos team here will be a force tie because she beat him before, so to equal out the whatever thing we're doing for Chaos, it'll be a force tie. So she basically has to hope the touchdown MVP goes someplace she wants. A little harder to guarantee, obviously, but certainly, as you can see, there are a ton of players here within MVP range of getting a level up. So odds are pretty good that someone's going to level up. Same wise, so we've got, just to recap, 1, 2, 3. How much is level 5? 51. So this is impossible. But see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players within MVP range of hitting a level up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players then getting the touchdown. So it could be possible that she could walk away with 2 level ups from a forced tie, which is a pretty good place to be in going to playoffs. The other big advantage this team has going into the playoffs is no potential injuries because it'll be a forced tie. That's a really big advantage. It's absolutely huge. I can't stress enough how big of an advantage that is going into the playoffs. Having no injured players, especially against the Chaos team, which theoretically could maul her quite a bit. That's a really big advantage. Among the things that have gone really well for Greydeck this season, scheduling appears to be one of them as well. We've got me versus Pants Commander here, Goblin on Goblin action for the end of the season. Last time we met, I pulled off a 2-0 win, although he did more damage to me. We'll see. This matchup can be relatively explosive. I've got more levels up on more people, which is definitely big. I've got stronger pieces because one of his trolls has -1 strength, and I've got block on mine, so that's a pretty big deal as well. I've got wrestle. I think he doesn't have any big blocking skills like that. We'll see how it goes. Certainly sidestep on a lot of these people is really annoying. 1460 versus my 1480, so neither of us are going to get any bribes going to this, assuming we don't put money in, which he certainly could dump money in. He's not going to get anything else out of them, so he could even fire one of these guys and get a bribe. He's got 170 though, could certainly do a lot. I have no idea what his strategy will be going into this game, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, if we go by last time, I should win. I'm basically going to be looking to minimize injuries going to the playoffs, though. I think I can certainly secure a win for this, but we'll see. As we've seen before, Evan plays a lot more riskier than I do, makes bigger plays than I do. The advantage of that is that when they don't pay off, I can exploit them better, but the disadvantage I have in that case is that when they do come off, you'll have games like his game against Mark where he beats a team that he shouldn't be beating. So we'll see. I'm mostly, like I said, hoping to avoid injuries. Speaking of avoiding injuries, Mark is going up against Chris. Last time these teams met, 2-0 win for Mark, but only 3 casualties. So that was week 2, though, before the ogres got scary. This time, the ogres are extremely scary, and I mean, yeah, missing some snotlings, missing 4 players total, because I killed one of his guys. So, you know, he's going to be fielding lots of ogres, and he could certainly deplete his snotlings a lot faster than I did, but there's still a lot of ogres for Chris to be wailing with. We'll see. Mark should be pretty happy that I took out the sneaky dirty player one. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, Mark mostly really needs to avoid injuries going into his first round of playoffs, which will, yeah. So, things Mark could do, certainly, he could look to get Dean up to level 5, probably not the best use of SPP potential. I mean, this guy's within an MVP of getting level 3, so getting him to level 3 would be worthwhile as well. He has tackle, so punching snotlings will be something that happens quite a bit. Other things, I don't know. I mean, he really wants to focus on getting touchdowns with the throwers, probably to get them to level 3. Wants to focus on getting hits in with the linemen, so he can get them to level 3 or 4, although 4 is a long way off for this lineman. He's kind of in a weird spot where he needs to improve his team a little bit to go into the playoffs, but there's not a lot of room for him to do so because goblins are terrible. Goblins are really, really terrible. 1550 to Chris is slightly deflated, 1680, so I'll be getting 130 in inducements. So that might help a little bit. Getting some apothecary would probably be what I'd recommend doing, but 2 babes might not be too bad either. But apothecary is probably better in terms of long-term preservation going into the playoffs. We've got Amazons versus Wood Elves for the last games of the week. I totally expect Andrew to win this game. No problem. Andrew, like I said, has to really leverage his pieces into getting lulls up. So getting a touchdown with this thrower, for example, or getting a lot of passes in with this thrower, getting a vanity pass on this lineman, deciding if he wants to keep this 2-strength dodge lineman. Maybe he does. I mean, it's an extra piece. It has dodge. It's a really slow war dance, a really slow gutter runner, basically, at this point. Getting this war dance level 2, getting this war dance level 2, getting this war dance level 4. So Andrew has to plan his SPP attack pretty carefully. He has to decide where he wants to get SPP, and he has to make sure that those pieces get SPP to go into the playoffs. Sid can kind of do whatever. 1350. He's actually going to get money from Andrew. So Sid could do a lot. This team is definitely good at hitting. Last time they met, where are we? I don't think it was that long ago. There we go. Yeah, week 2. 2-0 for Andrew. I'm expecting basically the same thing here. Maybe not a kill for Andrew, but we'll see. The higher speed of the Wood Elf team probably going to be a factor here as well. Interesting little point here. Every single person that's in the playoffs is playing against someone that isn't in the playoffs, so relatively interesting thing there. We'll see how these games go. Players that aren't in the playoffs obviously can be extremely risky and extremely aggressive and play basically like they've got nothing to do because next week they won't. Yeah, we'll see. Should be interesting. If we take a look at the rankings again, these are your top 4. Those are not in, unfortunately, how it goes. But hey, playoffs are playoffs. Next season, we're going to do a little bit to help alleviate some of these issues. We'll talk about that in a few weeks when we talk about the season recap. Let's take a look at the old Hall of Fame. Mark and the gaming team fighting for most experienced player here. Best scorer. Not surprising to have members of the gaming team on here. Yeah. I think we talked about this last week, but 9 is a big number. Dambo. God, it's ridiculous. 7 touchdowns for this catcher is pretty cool. Dean has 6 touchdowns, though, which isn't that bad. Basically tied for 4th with Wishbone. Let's take a look here. More throwing. I will say this. Sid said he wanted to play more throwing team, and he has thrown a lot. I hope moving into Season 3 that Sid throws even more and plays a team that will let him throw a lot more because it seems to be part of the game he likes, and he seems to be very successful at it. Surprised about the number of throwing this season, to be perfectly honest. I'm not complaining. It's certainly pretty awesome, but surprising the amount of throwing that's happened. Weird that it's not showing the other interception here, but we got up to 3 interceptions so far this season. In terms of injuries, an Ogre player is now tied with my Troll. I'm really pumped about that. The 4-strength blitzer here at 7, kind of crazy here. Yeah. I'm holding on to my most running, barely ahead of a big pile of Skaven players. I believe in you, Wishbone. You can do it. Most throwing. I don't want to look at this. These count thrown players, I think, so kind of weird. Whatever. Let's take a look at the best driver. Means nothing. Dean with 3 kills in here. Pretty exciting. Still pumped up 4 players on this list at the most. I feel like it should be a Goblin team, to be honest, but hey, whatever. Best receiving. What else? Not too surprised to see at the top here. And again, Amazon's throwing a lot. Means Amazon's on this list. Pretty cool. Brief recap, because I don't think I did that. Forced tie here. I think I'm going to win. I think that Mark should win. And I think that Andrew should win. Pretty straightforward week. And then playoffs will be after this. That'll go for a couple weeks, and then we'll do Season 3, which should be pretty exciting. We'll have new teams, new fun stuff, new formats. It'll be great. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up before you know it. And yeah, it's been a good season. I'm excited for this last week. I'm kind of sick of playing Goblins. I've enjoyed it, but I'm kind of sick of it. I guess I've got another couple games after that, at least one other game after this week, so we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching, everybody. I'll have a game up hopefully relatively soon. And until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.